You're live.
All right, so this is the continuing conference committee on H.660. And we understand that you, Chair would have some further language.
Yeah.
Leave it open.
Yeah, sorry. You just want some air.
Yeah, you can leave it open. Sorry. The sound isn't too bad.
It gets loud. So Katie, could you share that because she let us have it in writing?
Katie McLean, Office of Legislative Counsel. This has not gone through editing, which is why it has big draft watermark across it. There is new language and it's highlighted in blue. Okay, first, a reduction of the recovery center appropriation from 800,000 to 500,000 and adding the language upon consultation with the Vermont Recovery Network to determine allocations to individual recovery centers. Next is adding in the Senate's appropriation of 287 to the Department of Public Safety to provide funding for expanding the public safety enhancement team's harm reduction and strategic community intervention efforts. And then adding 875 to Dale to fund Hireability Vermont, and the understanding that there would be a corresponding removal of that appropriation from H951.
And we actually just talked about that and we're kind of waiting to see what transpired in here. So it's a time on it.
I'm wondering, do we need to say sort of specifically what's that's for? It's for specialized vocational rehabilitation.
Right.
Counselor.
And not through Dale, it's from DOC.
No, it's Dale. Liabilities in Dale.
It is in Dale, but it's going for DOC transitional. Or no?
No,
When did that change?
I think maybe you're thinking about the case management that goes to DOC
Yeah,
that
that's
the
right.
recovery
Okay.
centers are doing. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's in DOC.
So we could say to fund X services through Hireability Vermont. Is that
Yes.
what you're thinking? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see
What
if
is the right-
there's language here someplace that says.
As long as we can get that in the budget, I think this one is.
Just makes it cleaner if we can keep all the stuff here in one.
Just to keep the funds better.
This says, would have been in the Dale budget, would have been in the Dale budget presentation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How do you have?
Shayla Livingston, Health Department for the record. The language that was that is for this program that was in last year's bill is to provide specialized employment services for individuals with opioid use disorder.
That's it. Okay.
Can you say it again? Specialized?
Yep. To provide specialized employment services for individuals with opioid use disorder.
Thank you.
so I have a question. No. Can I ask the sideline questions? Do we want to keep it as narrow as opioid use disorder, or do we want to say with substance use disorder?
Well, because if it's opioid funds, I would take exception with putting substitutes.
Okay, but we know the 660, I mean, we know that the opioid special fund can do broader, because you just added that language. Okay, all right, we want to keep it opioid, that's fine.
Okay.
Then we can.
Next is section 2. This is the legislative intent. You had this budget adjustment language and then adding the language that was in the Senate bill. It is the intent of the General Assembly to continue to appropriate funds annually from the opioid abatement special fund for at least fiscal year 28 for the purpose of awarding grants to the city of Burlington for the operation of the OPC unless the special fund does not have sufficient monies to fund this expenditure.
That's the attempt to make that similar to the other three.
Okay.
I like her.
Be great.
I think that was it.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
We bring nothing fast around here.
That's a good question. There was language, there's language in the budget as it relates to hireability. Yeah, so it's the intention to fund this through the general fund,
Yeah, the B1100.
Yeah, and is that an intention that we would want to put in there?
I think it's, if we leave it in the budget, well, that's a ledge council question. Whether we should have it in both places or not.
She's just talking about the language, not
You're
the
talking
dollar
about the
amounts.
language of intent to make it base funding,
Right.
going forward.
Well, hold on, I just had that language pulled up.
If it's in the big bill,
It says
I might,
legislative intent.
I might suggest leaving it in this bill and not in the budget because we're having intent language in the budget.
what did you say?
I would suggest putting it in 660
Okay,
and not in the budget, just because we're having intent language in the budget. We do it, but it's
yeah. But the only reason we did it there was because we had it in the budget.
correct. I would recommend doing it
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Okay, I could pull the language from the budget.
Yeah.
Just put it into,
Can you read what it says, Katie?
yeah, in fiscal year 27, the General Assembly shall fund Hireability Vermont through the opioid abatement special fund. However, in fiscal year 28 and thereafter, the General Assembly intends to fund Hireability Vermont using general fund monies.
So we don't need the first part because we're actually in the opioid.
Yes.
That's
So it's like it's the intent of the General Assembly to,
Yes. I can add that if you'd like.
okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Then whoever is sitting in these seats can decide whether they,
Exactly whether they like it or not. Okay. So,
that was all the changes we made based upon what we had talked about this.
okay. How about this? How about we go offline for a couple minutes and, you leave Senator Julie and I here alone with
Okay.
Lake Council and Joint Fiscal,
All right,
but listen for a ruckus. And then,
okay.
we'll see what we do.
Who's gonna win the arm wrestling? That's just what I want to know.
Either Nolan or Katie.
No.
Katie always wins.